Hello and welcome to my masterclass. I'm so happy that you are here with me today, that you signed up for you. You want things to change in your life. You might feel overwhelmed. You might feel spread a little too thin. And my goal is to help you feel happy, to feel healthy, to feel like you have more ease. Just imagine waking up and having more energy, sleeping better through the night, not yelling at your kids or not worrying about your kids. We have so much anxiety and it's just floating around us everywhere. So I want to help you feel your best. My name is Stephanie Moore. Everyone calls me Steph, and thank you for being here today. Let's get right into it. Today I want to talk about three things you can do to shift into more calm, more ease, less chaos, less overwhelm, and to be in control of your life. If you're anything like me, it feels very often like life is controlling me instead of me controlling my life. And maybe I shouldn't even be using the word control, but what I want you to feel like is that you're in charge and you know how to make decisions, you know what you want, what you need, what you want to do, and you have this inner knowing, you have this intuition is on fire, and you also have body wisdom, which means that you know the answer to things and you know that you know what you're doing. You know what you know. And that is the key. And then I want to empower you to stand in that knowledge, to stand in your knowing. And I'm going to share with you 3 different parts of life today that you could stand in your power without causing trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to feel like you're standing in your power and that you have to stick up for yourself in a mean way. Like, I'm doing this for myself and I'm not taking care of anyone anymore, because you know that doesn't really work that well, first of all, and that's probably not how you want to go about life. So this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about 3 things in your life that you can have a dramatic shift in today, starting with some very simple steps. And then go ahead, please stick around to the end, because I have a very special thing to share with you at the end that is going to bring it all together and help you make your forward progress faster and make you feel better quicker. So let's stick around with me today. I'm excited to have you here. Number 1 is nervous system regulation. Now, I don't know what you thought I was going to say. You might have thought that I was going to say something about food or something about dieting or something about going to bed earlier or doing more yoga or learning how to meditate. Now, all of those things are very, very helpful, but I want you to think about your nervous system. Your nervous system is the most important thing in your entire physiology, in your entire body, because when we are in stress mode, when we are in high stress, high anxiety, high worry, high pressure mode, you have a very hard time in your body, in your physiology, nourishing your cells and helping you to make good decisions. Also, when you're in a highly stressed state, you also don't have much room for creativity or for fun or for joy or for ease and for chaos. So we start with your nervous system. What exactly does nervous system regulation mean? What it means is you train your body how to respond to stress differently. Now, the nervous system is part of your autonomic, your complete nervous system is part of your endocrine system and part of your survival system. It also is directly connected to your digestion and your metabolism. It's connected to your energy. It's connected to your brain and how you think, and it's connected to how you communicate and how you relate to other people. So the nervous system is why we begin there. Now, food and the foods that you're eating and the sleep that you're getting and the movement that you're making all also directly affect your nervous system. But the mistake we commonly make is we jump to everything else first and we don't take care of our nervous system. I have a really great video actually about the vagus nerve where I am talking with my 2 friends, Wendy and Lindsay, Dr. Lindsay. We have this incredible conversation about the vagus nerve. And that is what really turned me on to do a deep dive into our nervous system. And here's the thing. You've been doing this your whole life. You've been trying to regulate your nervous system. You've been trying to get out of danger. This is what our bodies are meant to do. And you've also tried to calm things down. I know you've done this before. Calm things down, said, hold on a minute, let me just think. And as soon as you take a breath and as soon as you take a pause, oftentimes the answer will come to you. The second thing I want to talk about is eating real food and your digestion and your metabolism. Now, this is directly related to your nervous system, of course, because they work together. When you're in high stress mode, you're not digesting because you're trying to manage your life. So once we kind of bring down your nervous system regulation, then you're a better digester, then you have higher metabolism, and then guess what? You have more energy. Yay, that's what we're here for. The third thing that I want to talk about today is managing your life, your household, your kids, your family, your partner, your spouse, someone that you're close to, your friends. And also perhaps you might be taking care of your parents, or you're worried about your parents, or there's a lot of people to be taken care of. Your work, your household, everything all needs your attention. Now, if we want to live a holistic, healthy life, we have to look at how we're doing relationships along with our nervous system and the foods that we're eating. They all go together. I practice holistic health. So when we're talking about health and wellness and how for you to feel better and have more energy and feel amazing, we're going to go at it from a holistic approach. So it's not just a diet, it's not just breathing and meditating, it's not just walking outside in nature, it's not only eating lots of vegetables, which those things are all great, but we are going to pull them all together and we're going to make it work for you, because you have intuition, you have body wisdom, you have all the tools that you need within inside you. Sometimes you just need a little bit of guidance to see how to bring it all together. First, let's get into the nervous system regulation piece. So what I want to do today is I want to help give you a few tips and a few ideas of how you can make some very simple changes and gentle shifts so that you can start taking action today and you can start actually feeling better today. So you can feel more control of your health and you can be a better decision maker, and so you can take care of yourself in a new way that doesn't feel stressful. If whatever process of taking care of yourself you're doing is creating more stress, then we're going the wrong direction. We want to regulate your nervous system, and this is key. I think this is first before anything else, because like I said before, if your nervous system is not regulated, if you're in a high stress state, then nothing else in your body is working properly. And that's why we have a foggy mind, well, we can't remember things, or we don't sleep well, or we have achy joints, aches and pains after a workout, or even just every day getting up off the couch. All of these things are as a result of your nervous system not working in a fluid flowing way, and it's inhibiting your digestion. So we'll get into that in a minute, but right now that's the why. This is why we want to work on your nervous system, so that when you bring your stress down, when you calm things down, everything in your body works better. Number two, let's talk just briefly today. We could go down a whole big long masterclass about hormones and your endocrine system, but today I just want to hit on it briefly. And I want to say, as a woman, your hormones are changing constantly. We have a monthly cycle, so even as a young adult woman, your monthly cycle is, you have different phases. It's like 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, and your body is changing in each one of those phases. Then as you get older, as you get into you'll go through like the childbearing age, whether you have children or not. There is a phase of childbearing time, and then you'll get into your 40s, where slowly but surely you're starting to shift again in your hormones, and you're going through perimenopause. Perimenopause is when your hormones are starting to shift in a way that you have less estrogen and your progesterone is not as consistent. Now, what this often causes is a stress response in your body. And that's why hormonal changes can be very difficult for women. If your stress levels are all super high and then the hormone shifts start to pop in, now we're paying attention. Now we're having symptoms. Now we're having irregular periods. Now we're having heavier periods, or we're having no period at all for a while. And that's very normal. Your body is shifting and changing. So we want to do the best we can to manage our stress and manage our nervous system so that we give the best support to our hormones that we can. And someday we'll go into a much deeper dive on this, but that's how I wanted to explain. Your nervous system is directly connected to your hormones via the endocrine system. So when we regulate your nervous system, you're also balancing your hormones. That's the bottom line. And that's what I want you to have as a takeaway today, that you can supplement with hormones, of course. You can really help your hormones with your diet and certain things that you're eating. But the most important thing is to take care of yourself and be kind and gentle and loving to yourself. And I know that sounds kind of simple and goofy and woo-woo perhaps, but it's the most important thing. So when you are feeling hormonal, it's a chance to listen to your body. It's a chance to connect. It's a chance to have body wisdom pop up to the top and give you the message that it's giving you. So allow your intuition, allow your body messages to be a signal and a sign that you actually listen to. So next time you feel like pushing on, see if you can sit back. And next time, if you're absolutely exhausted, instead of having, a caffeine or sugar or something to bounce you back up, see if you can rest for 15 minutes. These things are vitally important to balancing your hormones by regulating your nervous system with some really simple practices. And I'm going to share those with you in just a minute. Okay, so we're actually on the how. So how do I regulate my nervous system? I want to share with you just some very simple things for right now. One of them is connecting with your legs. I know that sounds kind of strange and it sounds a little bit too easy, but when you connect with your legs, you're taking your thoughts out of your head and into your body. Have you thought of that recently? Have you thought, man, I'm just spinning and spinning and spinning in my thoughts, and I have so much anxiety, and I'm thinking about so many things, and I'm multitasking, and I just can't focus on one thing. We need to get out of your head and into your body, and it's a lot easier than you think. So right now you can do this with me if you want. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're standing, even if you're driving, you can actually do this. Now keep your eyes on the road, but I want you to feel your feet, and then I want you to feel your legs. And I want you to take a breath and you inhale, and then I want you to press the energy down into your legs. And if you're standing, you could bend your knees a little bit so that you feel your muscles activate in your legs. If you're sitting in the car, you could push just like your left foot down into the floorboard so that you feel your body activate. You can feel your seat. In the seat, you can feel your back in the back. So like if you're in a chair, you're seat to seat and back to back. See if you can feel and just sink in a little bit into your chair. If you want to get bonus points, you could go outside and you could stand on the ground, on the grass, or any kind of ground, honestly. You could stand on dirt, you could stand on the sidewalk, you could stand on the road. It all is okay, it all works. And take your feet a little bit wider than hip distance and just bend your knees a little. And then I just take my hands, you can warm your hands up a little bit, and then you can rub your legs a little. And you'll just bring the activation into your legs. You can even slap them a little bit. Bring your energy into your legs. Where your thoughts go, your energy goes. You can do that right now. You can do that anytime during the day. And when you feel stressed about whatever it is, I just try. I know that, again, like this might not work for you and you can come up with your own phrase, but I just will take a nice deep breath, let a big exhale out, a big sigh. When you make a sound out through your mouth, you activate your vagus nerve, and you can bring your calm, you bring your stress down, bring your calm down, and just say to yourself whatever phrase that might help you. It's all going to work out. Everything is going to be okay. My favorite one really is, I am safe. I am whole. I am okay. And Any of those phrases will help you, I promise. And you have to just practice them a little bit, but the more you say them, the more you believe it. Everything is going to be okay. I am safe. I'm going to get there when I get there. Everything is going to work out. So you can train your brain to calm down, because whatever it is that's happening in your life very likely is not a hugely stressful situation. So for example, like it's not a life or death situation. So you want to train your body to understand that the upsetting email or the text message or some news that you received is not a life and death situation. And the world that we live in now, everything is perceived as a life and death situation. So you want to train your body and train your brain. Everything is going to be fine. I am safe. And like I said before, your hormones will thank you. Your body will thank you. Your metabolism will thank you. You'll be able to sleep better. Everything calms down. So you can do it. I want you to give that a try. The next thing, we already talked about this a little bit, but just taking some deep breaths. And one really great way to regulate your nervous system is to take equal breaths, inhale and exhale. So you can inhale for a count of 4, do a gentle pause, exhale for a count of 4, gentle pause. That's it. Just really super easy. It's called equal breath, or has some fancy name for it, but all you have to do is equal breath. Inhale for 4, exhale for 4, and just take a tiny little pause in between the inhale and the exhale, and that again gives your body this feeling of safety. And I will count them in my brain, like I'll count specifically: inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And eventually you can let your exhale be a tiny bit longer, but don't worry about getting fancy on it. Just take some deep breaths. You can do this in the grocery store line. You can do this in the carpool lane. You can do this when you're listening to someone talk to you and you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the conversation or by what someone is telling you. Go into that breathing, 4 and 4, 4 and 4. Food we're going to talk about in the next moment here in just a few minutes, but the food that you can eat and actually eating real food, let's just start with that. Actually eating real food and sitting down when you eat. This is everybody who is in my world, and everyone who's ever taken a class from me knows that this is one of the first things that I say for everybody. We have to sit down when we're eating. Give your body the message that it's time for food and we're going to eat. Okay? And then we're going to digest, and they're going to use that food to fuel and nourish our tissues and our body, and to create new tissues in our body, because your body is reworking itself all of the time, rebuilding. Nature, I mentioned this just a little bit before as I was talking about going outside. For bonus points, if you can stand outside and get your feet on the ground, nature is the great equalizer. And we spend, unfortunately, so much time inside, in the office, in the house, on the TV, on a screen, in the car, on the phone. So anytime you can get in nature, that is the great equalizer. I'll give you a bonus points one for this one too. If you are able to take a 15-minute break, and I would set your timer on your phone. I guess that's the easiest way to set your timer, but turn off notifications otherwise, and lay down on your back and lay all the way down flat. And it will take you a few breaths to kind of calm down and relax, but just spend about 15 minutes, 10, 5, actually, any amount will help, and just look at the clouds or close your eyes and take a little mini rest, a little mini shavasana, which is just the resting pose part of yoga at the end of the class. It's the best part of yoga class. When you rest at the very end, you've done all this hard work and now it's time to rest. So getting outside in nature, laying down on the ground is even better. Looking at the clouds, or even looking up at from the trunk of a tree, absolutely cool. It's the coolest thing ever. You could be one of those fun, cool tree huggers. Just looking up at the tree and see if that helps bring your nervous system down. You'll be shocked. I'm challenging you to give that a try. You will be shocked at how good you feel afterwards. Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to talk about the digestion piece: food, digestion, and metabolism. And the first thing I want to say is, please try not to go into rule mode. That's what we do. As soon as we hear we're talking about food, we're talking about going into rules mode. Now, there is absolutely no question that the more whole foods you eat, the better your body's going to operate, and the better it's going to sleep and recover and repair, and like I said, build tissues. And your brain works better with real food. Everything works better with real food. So what's real food? Anything that is not in a package. So all the produce in the entire produce section, any of the meat that you buy in the case that is real food, real meat, real stuff that doesn't have a bunch of things added to it. Keep it very, very simple. And we'll talk about food on a whole nother level, but today I want to talk specifically because I'm sure you have a lot of things about food that you already know or that you might already be trying. So I guess let me back up just a little bit. The number one rule about food is not to let it stress you out, okay? And that might not be a rule that you've heard before. We go on these diets and we take food groups out and we make all these rules for ourselves, and we do intermittent fasting, which we're going to talk about intermittent fasting in one of my programs coming up soon. But the most important thing is that the rules that you're following do not cause a stress response. Remember, we talked a long time already about the nervous system. So whatever food plan you're creating, please do not allow it to cause a stress response for you. That's very important, okay? So you're gonna try to eat whole foods the best that you can, whenever you can, as much as you can, okay? So I wanna talk about what happens to your digestion and your metabolism when you are in high stress response, which means, and that's why we started with the nervous system regulation as the number one key, because now you get to enjoy one of my beautiful drawings. So this is our cute little lady here, and I'm just gonna keep this really simple for now, but here's her little heart center, and this is your stomach. Your stomach lives on the left side of your body, and you have what is called a digestive fire. So I drew some little fire flames down here that go in your belly, and your digestive fire is what cooks your food. So it starts by looking at your food, smelling your food, chewing your food, and then your food comes into your body and into your stomach. The food comes into your stomach, and your stomach's job is to make it juicy food, which means it's food that can be nourishing to your body and get absorbed into your tissues so that it can fuel your body, and it can give you energy, and it can give you strong muscles, and it can give you a clear brain, and it can give you beautiful skin, and it can give you all of those things that you want. But the key is the juicy food. So when you are eating, you want to sit down when you're eating. That's the really important part. So sit down so you give your body the indication it's time for food, it's time for nourishing your body. And then your body gets a chance to actually digest the food that you're eating. And then it goes into the system of, your liver gets involved, your small colon gets involved, your large colon gets involved, everything, your pancreas, your kidneys, everything gets involved, and you fuel your body with food. What causes you to not create juicy food? Standing up while you're eating. That causes some stress, and that causes some trouble on your body. It wants to do all the other things that it's doing, not sit down and eat and nourish and digest, right? So standing up while you're eating, eating while driving, eating while having a difficult conversation, eating while watching a scary movie or reading emails can sometimes be very stressful. Eating while you're on the run, while you're driving in a car, or while you're trying to race around town and get to the next location. What else? When you are having an argument, when you are walking, talking, moving. Here's one, when you're having a business meeting. This can be a problem. Like if you're having kind of a stressful meeting with your boss or with a coworker, unless it's a really nice, easygoing conversation, any kind of difficult meeting while you're eating is going to inhibit your digestion, unfortunately. So all of these arrows coming in on your body are going to put your fire out, which is So sad. And unfortunately, this is the life we're living. We're putting this fire out every single day. So what I want you to do is, my tip for food digestion and metabolism is, remember, rule number 1, don't make it stressful. Rule number 2 is try to sit down and eat and focus on eating and just doing that one thing. And rule number 3 is eating when you're hungry. I want you to get into the habit of listening to your body and listening to your metabolism and listening to your digestive fire. So let's build up your digestive fire, because the stronger and more balanced your digestive fire is, the better everything else works in your body. And in fact, the better you can fight stress and handle stress and manage stress, because you know the chaos is coming, you know that the stress is not going away. So you want to do your best to build your digestive fire by trying to eliminate all of the stressors that are coming into your meal times, not make a bunch of rules about your food, and then also giving your body a chance to make that juicy food. Okay, I hope that's helpful. I want to keep it very, very simple. Take one of those things out of there and decide what you can add to your meal times today. Maybe it's just sitting down. Maybe it's actually eating a real lunch. But again, see if you can notice your digestive fire. See if you notice true hunger. See if you can notice that, oh my gosh, I forgot to eat today. Or, oh my gosh, I've been snacking all day, but I haven't had a real meal. So just start to notice those clues. We're all about body wisdom here and that holistic approach. So the more you look for the holistic approach to things and don't be hard on yourself, you will find that your digestive fire is here to help you and to take care of you. The third thing I want to talk about today is relationships. And you probably are guessing relationships are everything, because we deal with them every day. Relationships with people, relationships with your family, with your kids, maybe with your parents. And this is very important. It's very important in the holistic approach of taking control of your life, of feeling better, having more energy, and doing a level of self-care that is above and beyond, getting your nails done or going to the spa or even going on a retreat. Like, you want to bring your holistic health and your self-care into your every single day. And every single day, it's very likely that you are dealing with some kind of relationship, right? So relationships, household, family, I'm talking about the whole thing, work, your family, your kids that you might be taking care of. Even if you have kids that are out of the house, you might be having worry or anxiety or excitement, any of those things for them, which is amazing. But it can kind of take over also. So you are in charge, and I want to help you be in charge in a way that is very kind and very easeful and doesn't create more chaos for you. So one of the things I see a lot of moms do, and I have to admit, I did this myself when I was younger and trying to navigate how to do everything, how to be a super mom, how to take care of my kids and have a plan for dinner and keep up with the laundry and run a business. And I was juggling a lot of balls, and I felt like I was last on the list. In fact, the whole reason I went back to school for holistic health and to learn about this is because I was falling apart. I was breaking in half. I was not taking care of myself, and I slowly was inching my way into those hormonal changes, and bam, everything was getting more and more difficult, more and more complicated. I would go to bed exhausted. I would wake up exhausted. And by 10 a.m., I would start to think about bedtime. I would think about what do I have to get done today so that I can eat dinner, put my pajamas on, and take a shower and go to bed. Not in that order. Eat dinner, take a shower, put my pajamas on, and go to bed. I could not wait to go to bed. I would put my kids to bed when they were younger, and I would fall asleep putting them to bed. And then I would get up, and instead of listening to my body wisdom and doing what I thought I should be doing, I would get back to work. I would jump on my computer, or I would start doing some prep for my business for the next day, and I would just go and go and go. And I burned the candle at both ends, like times 1,000. And really what it came down to was me saying, I need this time for me, and I'm going to carve out time for myself, and I'm going to ask for help. And so I asked my husband, I said, you know what? I am going to yoga every Monday night, and this is my yoga time, and just plan on being home on Monday night. This is my one night where I'm not making dinner. I'm not putting the kids to bed. I'm not doing anything. And I wasn't very nice about it, to be honest. And I don't want you to do that, because I don't think we need to be mean, because we get into this place of depletion where we feel like we have to demand our time. We feel like we have to demand, more help. We have to demand someone fill in the gaps for us, because we are just so exhausted and we're so afraid and we're so burnt that we feel like we have to almost be kind of mean and demand it. However, I just invite you, remember we started with number one, nervous system regulation. So I would invite you to take a deep breath, get your feet on the ground, feel your legs underneath you, take a breath and bring your awareness out of your head into your body, and then just simply claim it. Just simply ask for it, ask for help. You don't have to ask permission, but if you need to ask for help because you need someone to fill in for you while you're taking care of yourself, then do that from a very calm place. You don't have to demand it, and you don't have to, it's just gonna make you feel better if you ask for help in a kind way and then it comes to you. So I hope that's helpful, because that's something that a lot of moms have trouble with, is not only asking for help, being okay with asking for help, then not feeling guilty about it, but also doing it in a kind way that is a collaboration, a collaboration for your family. Okay, so I went off on a little tangent there, but I think that's a very important tangent to go on, and I hope that is helpful to you. Okay, so choosing you time. This can be any amount of time. So for me, it was Monday nights at yoga. I started having quiet time in the mornings. My kids, almost every time when my kids were young, they would wake me up before I was totally awake. So I would get them kind of settled. Depending on what age they were, I would step outside, take a few deep breaths, 3 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I did something for myself this morning. As my kids got older, I would often get them out the door and to school, and then I would come home and I would carve out 10 minutes for myself and say, okay, I'm gonna have 10 minutes of quiet time, or journaling, or music, or reading, or even an extra long shower. That can also be a really nice quiet time. So choosing time for you, I have quick couple of recommendations for you. If you can do a little bit of quiet time to start your day, that is key, because you set the foundation for your nervous system. The second time I would ask you to try to carve out some time for yourself is like usually in the afternoon between 2:30 and 4-ish. It's before dinner. It might be after school time for you, or it might be transitioning from work to home, and it might also be transitioning from your own quiet time to maybe your partner coming home or your spouse coming home, or anything. But that 2:30 to 4:30-ish time is a great time to give yourself a 10 to 15 minute break. Quiet time, journaling, a glass of water, a cup of tea, maybe a few yoga poses, maybe a little breathing, something. And then the third time that I would say is right before bed. So get everyone settled, get everyone out the door. Even right now, it's just me and my husband, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with you for today. I watched a little TV with you. We had a nice dinner together, whatever it may be. And now I need my time. And I'm telling you, I still have to work at this. I still have to work at going to bed ahead of time, brushing my teeth, reading my book, whatever it might. I really like to read before bed, so that's my quiet time before bed. But sometimes I skip it. And every time I skip it, I can tell a difference. And so don't skip your time, either the morning, the afternoon, or evening, or all three. If you're like, really into it and you really feel you need that regulation in your nervous system, take all three. Okay, so I'm definitely going off on some tangents here, and I hope that it's giving you permission to take care of yourself and choose yourself when you feel the message that says, hey, hello, please come take care of me for a minute. So pause, stop, listen, do whatever you need to do to give yourself a little quiet time so you can feel better. Oh, here's a good one. the 3-breath rule. This is another, I mean, I have so many favorites, but this is a really good one. And actually my mom taught me this. My sweet mom passed away almost 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago. And her memories are deep within me. And I might even just share this story with you right now because I think it's important to think, why are we doing this? Why are we showing up every day? Why are we showing up as a mom? Why are we showing up as a spouse or a partner or a friend or a daughter or a child to our parents? And you really want to get back to who you are and what you want out of life. And if we're running ragged all of the time, we have a hard time connecting to that. So I hope that you will take this as permission again and a sign to take care of yourself, because my beautiful sweet mom, she did slowly over time take better care of herself and took more time for herself, but she raised me and my 3 younger sisters. So she's a mom of 4. She raised us by herself. She had a very big nursing career. She had her PhD in nurse practitioner. She also had lots of hobbies and she loved doing things for people, but she really wore herself ragged, and she had lots of dreams and lots of things that she wanted to do. And I mean, truly, you know, being with family and being with my kids and all the cousins was really important to her. So that was her joy and her life. But she had a really hard time choosing to do something for herself. She had colon cancer, and she had about 1.5 years of journey through colon cancer before she passed away. And I am so, so grateful for that time with her. But after she passed away and I had a little bit of time to process and think, I just thought to myself, I am going to make sure I learn from this lesson that I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to listen. I'm going to be in tune with my body wisdom, and I want to feed myself good food. And it comes back again to my very specific thing about your nervous system regulation being at the top of the list, because if we are stress-maniacs all of the time, it wears on your body. It hurts your digestion, it hurts your colon, and it creates all kinds of chaos in your body. So I just want to share that with you because it's so important to take care of ourselves and to learn from our elders and to learn from our parents what to do and what not to do. And so I really highly encourage you to listen to all of these things we're talking about today and make choices to do things that you enjoy and to spend time with your family, and then in turn keep your stress, in check and feed yourself really good food. Okay, so back to the 3 breaths, which was my mom's recommendation to me. And I've been doing yoga since I was 20. So this was really great that my mom shared this 3-breath rule with me. And it's so fascinating. You'll be amazed at what happens. So for example, and I don't know if you're like me, but I do have this tendency to try to fix things. And I have a lot of ideas. And when people come to me with their problems, or they come to me with their concerns, or they come to me with, their angst, or just their worry and fear, or whatever it may be, from kids to friends to my spouse. And so my husband is the first person I tried this on. And he started complaining to me about something. And he was having a lot of anxiety, and he was worried about something, and he started complaining. And my normal response is to jump in and fix it. And I'd be like, well, why don't you try this? Well, why didn't you say this? Well, how about trying this? Or whatever it may be. And instead of doing that, I took a deep breath. And I just felt my feet on the ground. And guess what? He kept talking. And then he unloaded a whole nother round of things that were bothering him and causing him stress and anxiety. I took a second breath. Feel my feet on the ground again. And guess what? He shared more. And by the time I took the 3rd breath, he had almost solved the problem for himself. I mean, I could almost just cry thinking about this, because we are working so hard to help everyone, to take care of our kids and take care of our parents. and take care of like all the schoolwork, and maybe it's college or maybe it's our career. And, you know, especially with your spouse, with your partner, we are so closely, deeply connected to them that we want everything to be great and amazing, and especially for our kids. I mean, maybe even more so with our kids. But I really want you to try the 3 breath rule and see what happens. See if and you don't have to step back, and you don't have to never give them advice, and you don't have to not help them, but take 3 breaths before you jump in and just see what happens. Finally, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but body wisdom. Your body is giving you messages all the time. So I encourage you to start listening and start paying attention and really go deep in there. And I heard this beautiful analogy the other day that when we are tense and when we're tight and we're having anxiety or worry or depression or fear or any of the possible things it could be, we tend to constrict and we tend to tighten up. Well, when we tighten up, nothing can flow then, including our breath, including our digestion, and including our stress response. It's just like, just everything locks up. So think of it as an ice cube. And when everything is rigid and everything is cold, like frozen, you can't do anything. You can't move. A fish can't swim through ice. So fish swim in water. So what we want to do is we want to slowly, with our breath, with our actions, with our body wisdom, we want to slowly melt that ice cube. We want to go from rigid and solid to flowing and moving so that everything is moving in a more easeful way, so that everything in your body works better, so you handle stress better, you handle chaos better, and you find a way to be in charge without, being harsh. And you also teach other people how to take care of themselves and how to solve problems for themselves. And then you don't take on so much when you're already perhaps overburdened, overwhelmed, or when I love that expression. What is that expression with bandwidth? It's like I don't have any more bandwidth. And I don't even know what that means, except that it means like there's no more room to add anything. There's no more, it's just, I'm done. I need to go to bed. So I encourage you to check in with your body wisdom and see what you need, and then act accordingly. If you're hungry, eat. If you're thirsty, drink some water. If you need to rest, rest. That's the biggest one. Bring your nervous system down. If you're feeling frazzled, bring down your nervous system. Okay. So I have one more really cool thing to share with you. I wanted to share with you, I have created a brand new program that I am very, very excited about, and it incorporates all of the things that we've talked about. And I have spent, I went to school for Ayurveda back in 2010, 2011. It was a year-long program that I did, a commuter program. So my background is in holistic health in Ayurveda. And before that, I was a chef my whole life. I grew up in the restaurant business with my dad, and then I had a catering business while I was raising my kids. And I had my catering business kind of throughout, I would say probably from around when I was about 25 up until just a couple years ago, off and on. 2 years ago is when I started doing more holistic health stuff. So I've spent my entire life in food, in stress management, and then in holistic health over the last 10 to 15 years. I've been studying that much more deeply, all while raising my kids and getting them off to college and then helping them move on to the next phase of their life. And now all my kids are out of the house. The coolest thing is I was able to heal myself from that stressomania stuff, and I was able to really bring it back together. And perimenopause and menopause was not super easy for me because of my high stress life from growing up and then from the restaurant business and the catering business. So I've created really a brand new protocol that helps you step into this little by little. And I've been doing it for several years actually, but I created the actual program just in the last year, because we moved out of our hometown. We had a transition. We lived in Colorado, and now I'm actually in Montana. So we have lived we're living our dream. We moved to the mountains. We're getting ready for the next thing, but we're actually doing it. And I just want to share that with you, because when you feel amazing, when you start to step into taking care of yourself and making these changes in your life, you're going to want to do something big. And it might be just going for a big trip or vacation, or it might be getting a new job or starting a new career, or it might be just volunteering or signing up to be on a new committee, or whatever it may be. So, but it's really hard to do these things and be creative if you're not taking care of yourself. So anyway, I developed this 40-day program that I think you will really love, and you can do any amount of it, but I would encourage you to sign up and commit. And you can do just 10 minutes a day, actually, if you want to, 10 to 15 minutes a day. And then each week we have a theme. So let me just tell you a little bit about it, because I've created lots of online programs in the past, and I think they're all really great. And I've done lots of one-on-one coaching, and I've done some group coaching, but this is the Mac Daddy. This is how we change how we're living, how we're showing up in life, and how we are an example to our kids and to our family, to our parents, and how we kind of put boundaries up and decide that I'm worthy of taking care of myself, and this is important to me. So 40-day program. It's 6 weeks to create the life you want, which means your body, your mind, your relationships, your family, and what you want to dream about, what you want to do in life, like what's next, and giving yourself the space and freedom to think about what could be next for you. And when you calm everything down, you have all kinds of creative ideas will start to come up. You will have a daily practice to regulate your nervous system. And this is the key, as I talked about at length earlier in the class. You'll have a 10 to 15 minute practice to do every day, preferably in the morning, to set the foundation for your stress response, so that the rest of the day just goes a lot more calmly and a lot more smoothly. Weekly themes of food and lifestyle. Each week we're going to, without stress, without rules, we're going to have some suggestions. Each week we're going to add a new practice that helps bring down regulate our nervous system, and also fuel your body so that you're nourishing every single tissue in your body, so that you have fewer aches and pains, so that you have clearer thinking, so that you sleep deeper, you recover better, you have better workouts, you have better walks, you have better time in nature. All of these things are directly related to the food you're eating and the lifestyle habits. So we're going to go into, we're going to do it little by little, just one thing per week we're going to add, so that you can get into a balanced state of living from day to day. Feel empowered. You are excited about what's coming up for you, about how you show up with your kids, how you show up with your family, how you show up with your spouse, your partner. You don't let others dictate your day. And you can do this in a very kind way, without being forceful and without demanding. You learn to trust yourself. You do what you say you're going to do. You show up for yourself. You change the way you show up for everyone, actually. And you trust that you have your own back. And that's what happens when we start doing these daily practices. It's super cool. It's like all of a sudden you just know what the answer is. And you get really in tune with your body wisdom. So you know immediately, you know what, it's time to go. Or, you know what, you guys go, I'm going to stay. So it's all about that yes and no, but we're coming at the yes and no between, with your body wisdom in mind. So you're actually making really smart choices for you, and you'll know exactly what the answer is. That's pretty cool. You'll be an example for your friends and your family. And that is, I can't tell you how magnificent that is. When you start, when everyone around you starts noticing how you're doing things a little bit differently, how your energy is different, how you're a lot softer, you're happier, you're less hectic, you're not burning the candle at both ends. Everyone around you is going to notice, especially your family, and it feels really good because your kids are going to see that burning the candle at both ends is not the way to do life. And you'll be a great example for them, and you'll be so happy that they're seeing you stand up for yourself and take care of yourself and trust yourself. When you start to step into this self-care of the daily practices, dialing in your food and nutrition, and then managing your relationships in your life in a whole new way, everything comes together and the possibilities are endless. So I hope you'll join me inside my 40-day program, and I'm really excited to have you there. And of course, if you would like to talk, you can set up a call and we'll talk about it. And I would love to hear, even if you're not thinking about doing the 40-day program and you'd like to talk, I would sure love to connect with you, because I want to hear what women like you are looking for in life. I want to know, what are your goals? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up? How do you want to feel about your body? And regardless of where you are on your hormone journey, you will feel amazing when you add in the self-care and the food and lifestyle and the nervous system regulation. When you add all of that in slowly and carefully, everything changes and you suddenly have possibilities that you didn't even know were there. And relationships are deeper. Everything is so great. So I hope you got lots of juicy ideas about how to start adding very simple practices into your everyday so that you have more energy, you feel good, you feel in control, you find your purpose again, and you show up for your family and friends in a way that brings calm and chaos, because we know everyone in the world needs more calm and less chaos, less overwhelm, and more ease and more grace. And so I hope that for you today. If you're interested, please go ahead and click that button below and you can be directed to the program page where you can learn all about it, sign up, and get started today. I would love to see you inside the program, and I think you're gonna love it, and you're gonna meet a lot of amazing women in our community, and we'll get started right away. You can feel better today. So click that button and I'll see you on the inside.